I'm going to make my very first cordwood wall. It's gonna be this wall over here, and it should look like something like this. I'm building a log cabin, or actually we're building a log cabin, but I do most of the work. After excavating the soil by hand and a bunch of days with a rock drill, as I didn't know there was a big rock in the middle, I gathered a few stones from the land and built a foundation. Plus pillars for the terrace. Then, for the first time working with a chainsaw, I felled some trees for the main construction, then pushed them out of the forest, debarked them, and built the main frame. And after that, the roof. In the last video we made a wine bottle stone wall and then a beer bottle wall. This week I'm gonna make my very first cordwood wall, and the very first wall is going to be here, and it'll also have a window in it. That's the window, so let's first build a window frame. So now I'm going to use some leftover wood to connect the two frames together, and this will also be what eventually holds the frame into the wall, because there will be cement on the left side and on the right side of this piece of wood. For the first day, when I'm building on top of here, to make sure that it doesn't bend down, it's best if I put something in the middle just for now. And I could use this, but I rather just use, I rather don't cut anything which is still new. So I thought if I just use this one, it's actually not long enough. And then I'm just gonna put a piece of wood like under it, that'll hold perfectly. I think that'll be good enough. Oh my god. All right. window frame done. The actual window frame looks so small, and then when you build the wooden window frame and I see how much space it's gonna take, it's more as I expected. So now I'm going to remake this wall on the floor, and I do this because I first want to play around with the cordwood and some wine bottles around it to see how it's going to look like before I'm going to put it in cement. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to get notifications of future videos. So the exact wall is laid out over here. And tomorrow I'm going to puzzle with the cordwood and the wine bottles, but first I'm going to get a good night of sleep and think about all the possibilities. One of the challenges I have are the corners. Oh, hi. In the corner, if I'm going to put a full length of cordwood, then, oh well, that's not good. Then I won't see my wall. Oh, if only I knew everything in advance, right? So I'm not sure how to solve this. I'm going to think about it. Maybe start with half a size. I decided to do the bottom of the window at 90 centimeter or 35 inch, so that when I sit on the chair I can look outside, and when I stand up I can also look outside. So I made a picture where the wine bottles would go under the window, and then in the next wall that I'm going to make above the door or through the middle of the door, I'm not sure yet. Something like this. Let's try it out. This could be cool, right? Like something like this, and then continue going up. I leave this corner free because that is for there. And I think with a chainsaw on this side, I'm just gonna take a little angle out of here. This is one of my favorite logs. Like, look at this. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? So I want to use this one. I think it's looking pretty nice like this, but before I'm gonna continue and actually prepare the logs, I want to watch a few more photos on the internet to see if the spacing of the logs are not too close or too far away before I continue. So yeah. I've been experimenting with some different design options, like also putting beer bottles on top or those two big bottles on top, but I'm just afraid gets too much. I think this will get too much doing this, so I think I'll go with my original design. Okay, this I like a lot. Now the big bottles there, yes or no? This is yes, this is no. I think I'll go for no. So then this is the begin idea. So I'm on a little angle so that I will still be able to see my tree. Yeah! Well, at least a little part of it. Some of these logs still have little hairs on the side, and apparently you're supposed to take them off with a scraper. I don't have a scraper, but I'm pretty sure that an angle grinder with a steel brush does the same job. Oh, you want me to throw it again? Put these rebars here and here just to make a reference line of until where the cement needs to come. I pre-drilled the holes. Now I'm going to put some nails in it. So I never built anything with cordwood before. I actually never built anything before. Anyway, this is the first time I'm doing this. And always when I do something for the first time, I'm procrastinating, you know. The cement mix will be a little different. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Procrastinating. And then eventually I just have to, you know, turn the button and do it. So I guess we should just do it. So that is for the insulation, sawdust with builder's lime. You add builder's lime, as far as I understand, to avoid insects. And there is some sawdust. I soaked it overnight. That's gonna go right now in the mortar mix. Everything went wrong. First I put the cement mortar or the lime mortar set mix in and a little bit of water, because I know I have to add the wet sawdust still. So add a bit of water, then the wet sawdust, and like it just turns into like mud, just like way too fluid. So I add more sand and cement and lime, and finally it becomes sturdier. And I think I never worked with this mix, so I think maybe this is enough. So I start working with the wood, and then after like 2 logs it's still just too loose. It's just not good. So I make it sturdier, and it was just not good enough. So I took everything out again, and then mixed it all together again, and then put it back, and then everything was fine. And then everything went well until I came to the end, because at the beginning I put the first wood too far away from the tree, and because of that at the end there was not enough space to put all the logs. So I had to put the logs really close to each other, where actually there's supposed to be more space in between them. But I couldn't put the first ones back again because that cement was already drying. Well, I learned from it. Let's continue. Well, you definitely see a difference between when I didn't know how to make cement look nice until I did. It's the end of the day. This is good. Now I have an idea of how I should do it, and now tomorrow I can just wake up, begin and work. Yeah, things starting to look really nice. Alright, this is the end of today. It's raining again. Should be calm tomorrow. You like what it's becoming? Yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. That is where the window is gonna come. I think it's good to let the rest dry really well before putting the heavy frame on. Alright, see you tomorrow. Some things are definitely easier when you're not alone, but not impossible. There must be easier ways to do this, right? Tell me in the comments, and I will do that next time. Good morning, good night. A big thanks to my patrons who make it possible for me to keep making these videos. If you'd like to become a patron too, check out the link.